This Big 12 Part 1 preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Circa Sports. They're back with their Circa Survivor and Circa Millions contest. $14 million up for grabs. Get all the details over at circasports.com.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
No, do not adjust your radio. It's not a radio anymore, but it's not a Big East preview. We're talking Big 12.
Big 12 here with Colby Dant, aka the Dantabase. What's happening, Pick Dundee?
This is my favorite conference.
This was more.
Really?
Yeah.
This was more. Yeah. That was
Why?
It's just got everything. Like every game is going to be great. Like there's no one
High
that's better.
scoring, zero defense.
Yeah, no. There's Kansas State's been playing great defense for a long time. It gets the label of it because of the Art Briles stuff. But this league, you thought the Big Ten West was tough. Well, welcome to a league with 14 teams that are like exactly like the Big Ten West.
Yeah, I made the West Virginia comment for Colby. He's a big fan of West Virginia and the old Big East.
I thought they should have kept Huggins. Thought it was I mean, look, he had a couple cocked.
Who hasn't
around.
been there?
Yeah.
Who hasn't blacked out and ended up in a completely different?
He already,
thought he was in a different state.
He was
okay, we've all had that happen to us. One time I thought I was in Arizona and I was in Vegas.
He had a 1-2 count with like 4 foul tips, and he finally swung and missed. I think at some point you got to
He'd been hanging on for a while.
Sometimes you got to walk back to the dugout. Yeah, I mean, look, the Big 12 was exciting last year too. I think it's turned. You could argue it's turned into the best overall sports conference, only including basketball and football in sports.
TCU had a great baseball run.
It's whatever. But yeah, I know. I think certainly the new additions. I know we get this 1 year of overlap where Texas and Oklahoma stick around. But if you get rid of Texas and Oklahoma, Sean,
Yeah.
there's only a 3-win spread between the worst team and the best team of the future Big 12.
Well, and the irony is that
And they're going back to 12 teams, right?
Well, that's why they're not changing their conference.
12 teams for this year. I think they're trying to.
Well, they got 14,
they got 14
this year.
this
Yeah, I mean, 12 teams for the next year. But I think there's talk. Colorado, Arizona State, UConn, San Diego State, half the ACC could all be in this
Tech.
conference.
Does Pac-12 realize it's not going to be a conference?
I disagree with that take.
No, they're gonna go in and steal the Mountain West teams. This is like we're playing Risk, guys. Do you realize this?
Here's my take on it.
House
I think
of cards.
Pac-12 survives because they're going to have some sweet gambling partnerships, and I think they're going to be able to extract enough money to do whatever they need to do. I've heard now a couple things about how the future of players being paid could potentially be paid by the conference. So if the conference is being funded by gambling companies out west in the crazy Pac-12, I don't think the Pac-12 dies.
I heard an interesting one that USC, UCLA leave. The Pac-12 signs, that we know that's happening. They're leaving the Pac-12, and then they'll sign a deal with Apple TV, the Pac-12 new deal, and everyone will think it's terrible until Apple buys Disney.
Oh,
And then the Pac-12 will be back on ESPN.
I do think the Pac-12 is not dead. I think that the brand of the Pac-12 and the areas
The Conference of Champions.
But don't you find the irony? Texas and Oklahoma have been the favorites for every year, and they haven't.
This is Texas's year, though.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean,
they haven't been there in a long time. Oklahoma.
Sean
I guess
was just throwing up
4 years
down.
ago. Yeah.
Horns down.
YouTube.com/sportsgambling podcast. Smash the subscribe button. Tell a friend. Join the auto download army.
Lately, we are an A&M podcast more than a Texas one. We participated in watching parades. All right, you want to talk about the bottom half of the Big 12?
Allegedly, we've never seen them.
According to Win Total.
What do you mean allegedly?
We are going to get to our best.
The team most recently in the playoffs was Cincinnati, not Oklahoma or Texas.
Well, but
TCU and Cincinnati were the two teams most recently in the CFP.
We believe in the win total marketplace, and that's how we define bottom half.
It is a efficient marketplace. Hey, you know what else is efficient? Efficient at giving you a good time. Circa Sports, they're back with their awesome football contests. I mean, what a country we live in. You can go hang out in Vegas at Circa Sports, sign up for the Circa Millions contest and Circa Survivor. Circa Survivor, $8 million guaranteed. $6 million for the Circa Millions guarantee. I mean, you asked Derek what the guarantee is. He's giving you $14 million for that. That's just insane that they guarantee $14 million in prizes. And you're thinking like, oh, crazy rake. No rake whatsoever. All you got to do, head over to circusports.com. And again, enter in Vegas, play from anywhere. We'll be out there last weekend in August. So if you want to hang out, crack a cold one, sign up for some contests. Great weekend to do that. So circusports.com for Circa Millions and Circa Survivor.
And just so we're clear, because you did make fun of me a little bit. With me bringing 10 grand out and it being way too much, you can actually enter.
When did I make fun of you for that?
A previous episode.
What episode was that?
On one of these college episodes, I said I was rolling out anyway. Not important. You can actually enter 10 survivors and 5 pick'ems.
You were saying, well, during the ad read, you were making it imply that the contest costs $10,000. I just wanted to clarify they're each $1,000 entry. But so you should bring 10,000 at least. I mean, you're trying to have fun in Las Vegas.
We were incorrect. It's 10 max for the survivor.
Okay, so you can do 10 max.
And it's 5 max for the pick'em.
Okay, so I need to bring 15 grand.
15 grand.
Maxed out.
All right, we'll have to add that to the permission slip when it's a
business write-off.
Yeah, you can see the conference costs $15,000.
Yes, we will be writing up fake conference invitations. So basically, all you got to do is enter your name in, and you can show it to your wife there. You've been invited to speak at the prestigious Circa Conference of Business Gentlemen. And yes, it does cost $15,000, but it's great exposure, great networking opportunity.
We need a fake newsletter. That's what we need.
Yeah,
we need a fake newsletter. Houston 4.5.
Colby's not amused. He's dialed in.
Oh what?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was just looking at Lehigh's offense.
He's prepping for the FCS. Houston 4.5 here, -130 on the over, +110 to the under. 120 to 1 to win the conference. No odds to make the playoff. 500 to 1 to win the national championship. This is a basketball school now. They obviously added Houston because of the TV market, I suppose.
One of the toughest schedules in the nation. The teams there. I mean, if you're just going off opponent's record from last year, obviously you should probably do win totals, but still. Their opponents, a combined 96-60 they're facing. Not going to be making it easy for that first year in the Big 12. Questions at quarterback. Colby, what do you think they do for quarterback?
Texas Tech transfer Donovan Smith, who started a lot of ball games there. He's going to be the answer there. Look, I mean, you got to love what's going on here. Houston, they barely leave the state. All right. If you look at that schedule, that is a Texas schedule right there. They leave the state one time before October 28th.
It's impressive, right?
Or is it not even one? Because West Virginia comes to town. No, they leave their first time out of the state of Texas is October 28th. So there is that.
They play Memphis October 7th.
Houston.
Oh wait, sorry, I'm looking at last year's schedule.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. Come on.
Oh no! Here we go. We already had a Kansas State snafu on the episode.
You're correct. October 28th.
They only leave
at the
twice.
Bill Snyder Family Stadium.
Dude, they only leave.
I don't know who that guy is.
They only leave the stadium or the state twice. Unbelievable. And guys, if you don't know your history on the SWAC and Texas college football. Well, there was a team called the University of Texas that, they basically lobbied for Houston not to be able to come to the bigger conferences for a long time. Well, on October 21st, the Texas Longhorns gotta go to Houston. I cannot wait for this matchup. Oh, the hatred in this game will be fantastic, and it's everything that's great about the sport. And the week before that, you got the reunion, the used car salesman Dana Holgerson hosting West Virginia.
A tough schedule. I mean, and Alton McCaskill coming back from.
No, he's on the Buffs now.
Oh, he transferred.
Yeah, Colorado Buffalo.
We coming. I thought, come on.
Well,
That's the guy who's been
the
coming.
problem. Colby gave me these, low grade magazines. I didn't get the Steel dossier, so some of this information.
Tony Mathis transferred in from West Virginia, where he was originally a Holgerson recruit, I believe. That element is fun. I mean, we kind of think they're going to regress, but at the same time, they never leave the state of Texas, so this might.
Certainly helpful.
Every game's going to be a close game. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this conference and especially the Houston Cougars this year.
He does have great hair.
Yeah, that's Ern McCracken. We have Big Ern McCracken.
He's an all timer.
Played for Mike Leach at Iowa Wesleyan.
I was going to say this is a heartstrings pick for Colby too. There's a lot of crossover to the coaches he loves. Hal Mummy.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh
Coach,
yeah.
I mean, we're going down like a who's who of guys that Colby, Mike Gundy.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Sumlin. Is that a red flag? Are we at all worried about that? All right, let's walk through the schedule.
What the win total was 5.5?
4.5.
Whew.
They so as you mentioned, they stay inside the state of Texas a ton. Texas is a big state though, worth looking it up on a map. Some of these Eastern schools probably have shorter road trips leaving their state.
Their first 4 games are in Houston.
Yes, so they have UTSA coming to town. Rice, who also plays in Houston. Then they have TCU, who maybe they outperformed a little bit last year and set for some regression. Sam Houston, which shout out to Go Bearcats. All in Houston, and then road trip to Lubbock, which I would imagine even from within Texas, getting to Lubbock's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
and so I don't know. Are they undefeated?
You got to go by ATV.
Oh,
right?
It's at the AT&T Stadium.
Look at this. We got to write an email to the football schedules folks. They put AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah, come on.
That's a mistake.
Wait, is that
true?
I think it's in Lubbock, right?
Yeah. Well, let's get some verification on that.
I think they made a mistake. I think it's in Lubbock.
No, they never make mistakes. This is horrible. All right, moving along.
No, hit back. It's called AT&T Stadium now.
Oh.
Wow.
No, it's called.
No. Click on Texas.
Oh, you're
Tech.
saying Texas Tech
Click
Stadium.
on Texas Tech and Kansas State's games at Jones AT&T Stadium now. So,
Oh, they call their stadium
it's-
Jones AT&T Stadium. Jerry Jones?
No,
It's just a random other Jones that
Yeah.
also likes AT&T. Very
Can't be correct.
This is very confusing. All right, so then they had the trip to Lubbock, as I was corrected initially, and then incorrectly corrected. We corrected that. Have they lost?
It's kind of what Holgerson's trying to do with the offense.
4-1.
Right.
They dropped.
Could be 0-5 or 5-0, right?
Honestly,
Am I crazy?
no.
They're not losing.
Last year's UTSA game was fucking
They could lose
insane.
that.
That was absolutely insane. They somehow won that game. Rice, I do think is going to be a bowl team this year, and then TCU obviously played in the national championship, and then Sam Houston State. Everyone considers them this new FCS school. They're good. So
this is year 1 or year 2?
Year 1 for Sam Houston State.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, and then
I'm sure there won't be an adjustment period.
And then you got obviously Texas Tech. Man, this is a tough schedule. I mean, honestly, I'll go out and say 2-3.
So
Yeah. 2-3 feels right. I'm with you, Colby.
Could be 5-0.
No, they really could.
Houston, for reference points, Houston is laying 2 against UTSA. So probably they'll be favored in.
Well, they'll be favored against Rice and Sam Houston. Definitely.
Yeah, so they'll be favored in 3 of these games. So yeah, I'll go. You're going 2-3.
Yeah. I think UTSA is better. They bring back Frank Harris.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the number's telling you. That's why it's shorter than 3. I'll go 2 and 3 as well. Coming off the bye, Sean, you're with us.
Yep, 2 and 3.
West Virginia, Texas.
So great, so great.
At Kansas State at Bill Snyder family.
Well,
Stadium.
that West Virginia game, who not super high in West Virginia, but that obviously that's a look ahead spot of all look ahead spots to Texas right around the corner.
But it's a Thursday night short week.
No, it's not a look ahead.
And Holgerson
he coached
had a feud with West Virginia,
Oh,
so
you're right.
it makes it just fantastic. Both those games.
This
telling
is
you.
peak. And then, by the way, all-time good guy move. Not called Bill Snyder Stadium, called Bill Snyder Family Stadium. He's with his family. That's where Brian Kelly got the idea. That's the back-to-back road spot there, and then at Baylor, Cincy.
They're going to lose both those.
Oklahoma State at home, who I think it seems like they're projected to have a bit of a down year. And then on the road at UCF.
Do you have any idea? I mean,
Can I throw something on the pile here? We love our weird trips. We know Lubbock's a weird trip in the Big 12. We know that Ames is a weird trip in the Big 12, and we know that Morgantown's a weird trip. I think Orlando might. I think Orlando might be a little bit of a weird trip.
I think I agree. The moon bounce.
It's like I get it. Lots of flights go direct there because of Disney World and stuff. But boy, I don't know. There's a lot of smells in the air, a lot of different humidity down there in Florida.
I know we gotta cap this, but do you have any fucking idea? Like that's what's so appealing to me about the Big 12. I look at this and I'm like, man, every game is a field goal game. Their whole schedule is a field goal game.
Yeah, to your point, like, what are the guaranteed wins and losses? It's tough to get there, right?
Well, I mean, again, like if you go by the bearing of where are they going to be favored, they'll be favored against West Virginia for sure. And I think West Virginia is going to be like that's one of the ones where I circle and I say win. Other than that, I know Oklahoma State probably getting Cincy and Oklahoma State at home. Good thing. I'm just saying.
I don't know if they're favored against Cincinnati or Oklahoma State.
It depends on.
It depends on the rest of the beginning
this
part of the
schedule's
season.
hilarious, dude.
If I had to bet, I think they would be favored against Cincinnati, not against Oklahoma State.
I'll take the over on 4.5 just because I feel like.
Well, we just said they'll be favored, so they're favored in 5, maybe 6 games.
And I think they're probably going to beat Texas because they're. That game is.
Colby's picking Texas is going 0-12 according to Colby.
No, but that game, come on, they've been waiting 20 years for that fucking game, maybe even longer.
Yeah, it's a huge little brother game.
When they announced that schedule and you're like Texas is going to Houston, you're just like, oh man, this is their opportunity there.
I want to bet. I want to go against this, but don't. It's quite hard based on what we.
Houston's left tackle Patrick Paul only allowed 4 sacks. Or is only allowed 4 sacks in 1,091 snaps. That's a crazy stat.
Their defensive coordinator Doug Belk's very good. I think.
Why are they? Yeah, to me.
Yeah, I'm over
so
4.5.
This is obviously
anytime there's a competitive division like this, take the over on the bad teams and take the under on the top teams.
Also, I think to Colby's point, there's some uncertainty around the fact that they're new to the conference as well. So. There is the side of this where it's like, oh shit, their schedule
Houston's
gets
played
a lot
like a
harder.
relatively tough schedule, no? Or
yeah, but
the conference, it's a different level of conference.
I would say like the only like flat out losses to me are at Kansas State and probably at Baylor. Every other game, and even that, it wouldn't shock me if they beat Baylor. It's in state.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, they could win a lot of games. They could lose. They
could go in 12. They go 12-0.
That being said, I was a little surprised to see they were at the total bottom of the conference. Next up, BYU 4.5 -190 to the over, +155 to the under.
This is ridiculous.
100 to 1 to win the conference. 400 to 1 to win the
where'd
national
you pull these numbers
championship. This is FanDuel.
Okay, because when I did the BYU preview, it was 5.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then let's go. I mean, it is -190, which is a pretty big.
Well, let's. I'll go to another reference point. See if we can get something with a little less juice. But I'm going to give the books a little credit. As much as I would love to not have these crazy juice numbers, I'd rather have half numbers than whole numbers. So understanding that moving at a full win takes a bit. So probably you got to get over -200 to probably see that.
Keaton Slovis coming in, transfer quarterback.
That's not a good thing.
I think he learned his lesson last year.
No,
he went from USC to Pittsburgh, chasing a girlfriend that was on the volleyball team.
Really?
So I guess they broke up because now he's in Provo.
Is that where you go when you break up with your girlfriend? Hey,
little retreat.
No Provo.
Yeah.
no, you know what? Fuck chicks. I just want to dance. Like he's going out to Provo because he broke up with his girlfriend. This is the word. He's already a piece of. He's not good.
I mean, is this the first? Is this the first team that's going to have a little bit of elevation? Right. I'm trying to think of any other Big 12.
Oh, they have an
teams.
awesome. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I
Is
would say
BYU,
yes.
do we have? Is the Big 12 going to have another weird road spot in BYU?
I think
yeah.
BYU is definitely a road.
It's all
road
weird.
spot.
Well, I've made this case all year on the college experience is that if there's one team ready,
Provo, Utah, 4,500 feet. So you're
Yeah.
almost at a mile high there.
if there's one team
That's
that's equipped for going into the Big 12, it's BYU because they were independent for like the past 8-10 years and they scheduled like maniacs. So I actually think their schedule kind of gets easier by going to the Big 12 in a way.
All right, so let's play the breaking news sound effect because I see DraftKings has 5.5 -110 each way.
Okay, that's more realistic.
Which it totally blows my sorted order. That was beautiful, and now whatever. So we'll pick it at that to be a little bit more fair. And to Colby's point, so would you rather play? So would you rather have an over 4.5 at -190, or what? You know, like I
mean, I think
I like the over.
I think they're getting to 6 games. I think BYU is going to be going bowling. So I don't think it's really going to make. So I'll take the -110. They bring in, and Colby and I were talking about this before the episode, pointing out they're bringing in the DC, or their new DC is from Weber State, Jay Hill. Good scheme, and he's bringing over some of his better players as well.
He was the head coach at Weber State too.
Head coach,
so, and now he's the DC. Like that guy was a very good coach. It's just Weber kept getting to the playoffs, and he's like, well, where's my better opportunity? For some reason, the college football doesn't go for the FCS coaches that often, which
makes no sense.
It has a great track record when they do, but so he's like, fuck it, I'm out to be a DC at BYU. This guy's a Kyle Whittingham guy. I think this defense was terrible a year ago. He brought in a bunch of his Weber guys. I think this defense is going to be really good this year. I think
Could
it's
make a
gonna be
nice jump.
Really improved. I am a little concerned about the depth on the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball, but I'm sure he'll try to find ways to disguise their weakness. But Isaac Rex has been in college for 75 years at the tight end spot. He's back. The wide receiver position, I feel
Kind
like
of thin.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got a bunch of guys. They went to the portal. They brought in this kid from Eastern Michigan that I like. I think his name's Lassiter. Aiden Robbins was a really good transfer portal get
Running back
from
right?
Louisville / UNLV.
I think they're going to be able to move the ball. And to your point, I think, bringing in the guy from Weber State is going to give the defense a nice jump in a conference where you're going to need a good defense to play. I mean,
Schedule's brutal.
obviously Slove is a big question mark at quarterback.
That's how you lose this bet. If Slovis gets injured, if he gets injured like he's been everywhere he's been,
he sucks too.
No, but I actually think he'll fit in well in this offense if he stays healthy.
I don't know how you can bet on the guy. And then again, when you
BYU, Colby, do they keep a good program?
Oh yeah. I mean, come on, they won a national.
Jim McMahon, come
two
on.
national championships since what? 83? Yeah, I'm giving 96. They're the same record as Florida.
Sam Houston, Southern Utah to open the season. What is this?
2-0, but
what is that?
What do you mean? It's sneakily. That's 2 FCSs.
FCS and a barely brand new FP. I mean, what are we doing here, BYU?
Well, you're smart.
Trying to go over
You're
the win total.
smart.
Getting a little warmed up here.
So then
Yeah.
but this again, they have 2 back-to-back road spots on their schedule. It's not at Arkansas, at Kansas.
Brutal.
That's
So, they split those.
I had them losing both.
the speed when they go from Southern Utah to Arkansas. It's going to wake some motherfuckers up. Then you have Cincinnati at home. That's a winnable game.
That's a win.
So to me, it's 3-2.
Can we talk like their home environment's awesome? So I actually think that's like a real hornet's
Provo.
nest for the opposing teams.
We got to track down that video of the kid. It was at BYU that was like waving the Coke bag
Yeah.
in the air when they did a shot to the crowd.
That's why Slovis is headed out there. Apparently, they have better Coke in Provo than they do Southern California.
I got them 3-2 at the bye.
Yeah, me too.
Sounds about right.
Me too. Wait, yeah, 3-2 at TCU, and then they come off the bye. 3 road games out of 4 at TCU, Texas Tech at home, at Texas, at West Virginia.
Tough stretch.
Let's talk about that November 4th game because West Virginia's head coach could be fired by then.
Yeah, I agree.
But also,
it's a tricky road
Mormons
trip.
versus meth head seems incredible.
Oh,
This
that's way better
this should
than
be on. They should do this in rivalry week until
this
Utah joins the conference.
Catholics versus convicts 2.0.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, you gotta love that.
Is meth in West Virginia?
I feel like it's
No.
more pills.
Feels a little high end.
Well,
for
what's
West
that,
Virginia. Meth?
Something. All right, something's up there. Don't worry. Either way, their fan base is hilarious.
I think it's just coal runoff water. They drink that and get fucked up. I think that it's a losable game though, because Morgantown is
True.
like everything you want to say about BYU in terms of an environment. West Virginia is too, but to your point, they could be crazy.
I mean, Kalani Sitake, their schedules have been fucking insane lately, right? Their independent schedules, and they've gone to toxic places and grab wins. They went to Tennessee, they went to Wisconsin, they went to Texas, all in the past decade and won. So I think they will, like that game at TCU. I'm not just going to pencil in TCU. I think that's a 50-50 game. You know what I mean? And same with the Texas game. I think like it wouldn't shock me. Another thing is you add in the
Texas can fuck up. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like where are we getting off that this isn't like there's some.
If anything, BYU was the team that got Mac Brown fired because what's my guy's name? The running back / quarterback on the Saints had like
Taysom Hill.
He had like 8,000 yards against Texas.
Tight end, tight end.
Yeah, he's
for
everything.
fantasy purposes
He's
only.
Jackknife, right? So
And then you have Iowa State, Oklahoma coming to town, and
they're beating Oklahoma. Oklahoma would never play in Provo. That is a loss. Man.
That is that's a tough spot, I think, for Oklahoma to show up and get a win.
And then at Oklahoma State, which is never an easy win, even if they're down.
That's tough. I mean, the whole schedule's tough after the first two games.
They have a tough road schedule. They have 6 road games that are, with the exception of the West Virginia game, maybe they're all probably not.
I got them getting to 6.
Are they favored in any of the road games? West
if
Virginia,
they fire Neil Brown, yeah.
But so that's 5 losses right there.
Yeah. I still think they're over. They're battle tested better than the other teams, man. Like the other teams would have you get like 2 or 3
also for
games.
me, we'll get to it, but West Virginia and Cincinnati, I think you can build some cases against them. I don't know. I like.
I'll take the over, but I don't. It's not a lock.
Oh, it's definitely not a lot because this is chaos.
But BYU and Houston feel like they are the ones getting the most disrespected in all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all 4 of those new teams,
I think they're just putting them on the bottom because they're new.
No, but UCF and Cincinnati aren't at the bottom.
That's true.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Cincinnati is also 5.5.
Well, West Virginia 5.5 plus 140 to the over, minus 175 to the under, 70-1 to win the conference, 250-1 to win the national championship. To your point, this one stood out. Minus, you know what? I'm going to search to see if we can find another total for this one too. Yeah,
just a bad roster. I mean, by all accounts, it might knock off Phil Steelmags. They're calling it one of the worst rosters in the Big 12. They're also starting their first quarterback signed by West Virginia out of high school. First time that's happened since 2013. They've kind of relied on
I dig that a little bit.
You think that's good though? I mean, maybe down the line. I think that
he's got that pride. He's gonna run for that first down instead of going out of bounds like a little bitch. All right, so.
Can't cancel West Virginia. I mean, like is that a good thing or a bad thing that you're signing a guy for the first time?
Or no, they're starting a guy they brought in.
That's what I mean.
You know who was from West Virginia? Jeff Hostetler, and he played at West Virginia.
He was a real man.
Yeah,
real man.
I like that angle to it, but Neil Brown, he would have been fired last year had they not fired the. They brought in a brand new athletic director, and it's very rare that they would fire.
Why did he get a break?
Well, because you kind of don't fire. You never really fire both at the same time.
Why not?
It's just a thing that doesn't really happen in college sports.
Just clean out the cupboard.
But Huggins, I guess, made it happen.
It does.
So
it seems like the whole West Virginia athletic program's getting a little rinse, right? A little douche. Maybe some toothpaste.
One thing that stands out about Neil Brown, though, his teams, even he's been bad. This has been a bad era of West Virginia football. But damn, if they're not in every game. You go back and look. I mean, they had TCU on the ropes a season ago. They had West. They probably should have beat Pitt in the backyard brawl to start the season. You go game by game over the years. It just seems like a lot of close losses. Maybe maybe the fact that he doesn't have that pressure. He knows he's going to get fired. I think
he's never won more than 6 games. I don't see. Yeah, I mean,
I agree, but I'm just making a case that if you have no pressure and you know you're probably getting fired, maybe you say fuck it and you start winning some of these close games.
Yeah, but also the team knows it, the program knows it. It's tough to get guys to buy in on your way out.
They might be bad.
They could be.
They have like Crater worst team in the country vibes.
No. They're still better than Virginia and Stanford and stuff.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
So there are some 4.5s out there, but the juice is wonky as well. So we'll just stick with this 5.5.
This is a 10-game power. So they have a 9-game schedule in conference, and then so they have 11 Power 5s, and then Duquesne, who's shout out to CJ Sullivan.
You're not about to tell me how Duquesne's a good program.
No,
okay.
but they're in Pittsburgh. They're in Pittsburgh, and Morgantown and Pittsburgh have a deep rivalry.
Eat shit, Duquesne.
Oh, do you think that works?
Back to back Pittsburgh teams.
Yeah.
Do Pitt fans root for Duquesne?
I mean, I think CJ Sullivan is a Duquesne guy that roots for Pitt. Right?
They root for anyone playing West Virginia. So
it's like when Sean roots for Temple or one of those other horrible Philly schools. All right,
how dare you?
Well, it sounds a lot like the same thing. St. Joe's at Penn State to open the season. That's a tough one.
Loss.
This is how you get fired, right? And then if you're flat for Duquesne,
I still think
does he get fired after? Well, listen to this. They play 2 teams from Pitt back to back. They got Duquesne, then Pitt.
They get the tune-up, and then I love it for a guy. Look, and this has been part of their problem. I think when they moved to the Big 12, they kind of just haven't fit in. So they've tried to get these regional games back on the schedule that get fans excited, because I think Mac will tell you this. The West Virginia fans have some of the best in all of college football, but when they join the Big 12, they're like, we don't really fucking care about Baylor.
Yeah, you're just playing teams from Texas.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know what we're doing here, and they've kind of, I think that's hurt their fan interest in it to a certain extent. Now it's still Morgantown, and they'll get drunk for anything, but I think that's what they did in this schedule. Look at all 3 of them; they're right there. They're close to all 3 schools, so I can appreciate that.
All night games too. So three. I mean, one of these in University Park.
And something to monitor is like West Virginia's NIL collective is really fucking good, but they haven't invested in football yet. I think they're waiting for Neil Brown to get fired.
They're still working on that moonshiner. Fucking what? Where is West Virginia getting the money from?
Pat McAfee.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's
really?
part of this. Yeah,
that's a hilarious thing.
Yeah.
All right, and then you got Texas Tech and at TCU.
It's tough. I mean, they could be 1-4 going into the bye, but 2-3.
I want to say Texas Tech struggles in Morgantown, but
but I just think this is a transition year for them. I think they're going to bottom out.
Wait, do we have them beating Pitt? Because I think I have to take them to beat Pitt.
It's a big rivalry.
They should have won in Pittsburgh last year. Now they got to come to Morgantown.
I don't think they're going to beat Duquesne, Pitt, and Texas Tech. And TCU is a bad spot.
I think Pitt is
I think they'll go 2-3 in that stretch.
Pitt's a way better team on paper, but they haven't played at the Backyard Brawl in Morgantown in a long time, man. That place is going to burn down on September 16th. Give me an upset by Dub V.
Of course. I mean, but you're always going to pick the upset here.
Well,
very predictable.
Yeah.
The AI is going to be onto you quickly.
So what do you got him at the bye week?
I'll say 2-3, but 1-4. I'm going to go 1-4.
1-4 and fired, right?
That's early to fire him though, but
bye week.
Aren't they? If McAfee's for real about the collective, maybe they'll push him out. All right, coming out of the bye, you got again a bunch of tough, probably coin flippy-ish games where you're on the road.
Being kind.
At Houston, Oklahoma State for homecoming. At UCF, BYU at home. At Oklahoma, Cincy at home. At Baylor.
And Brett Yormark, Big 12.
They're going to win 3 games.
Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner. Total fail, by the way. On you add Cincinnati and West Virginia that used to play each other in the Big East.
I was going to say
you're not far from one another, and you don't have it as the rivalry game to close the season out. You give them Baylor. What the fuck is that? All right.
Yeah.
Fail.
Why is it they don't know this stuff?
Yeah, it's very, very simple to figure out.
Maybe they don't care. Could it be they don't care?
Well, I don't know. Yormark's a New York City guy. I feel like half of New York City,
fucking city
all of New York City doesn't understand college football.
They need 6 wins.
Yeah,
They're not
I'm
getting
on the
six.
under.
They're not getting.
I'm on the under too. I just think
No
the
way.
potential for him to get fired and then everyone quit.
All right, what's the
is there.
hypothetical if your shop has 4.5 with the, let's say the juice is like flipped around a little bit, you still going under?
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think this is like a 3-win team.
I still don't think this is like a lock because I feel like they're going to be in these games. They're not that bad.
Colby's never said under is a lock.
Well, I locked up the under on Stanford, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
The trees, R.I.P.
Cincy 5.5 plus 100 to the over, minus 120 to the under, 70-1 to win the conference, 400-1 to win the national championship. Speaking of which, the odds not exactly matching with West Virginia here. Must have a lot of what drunk West Virginia alum betting those national championship futures. Cincy, of course, replacing Lou Fickell, which probably matters a lot. Stable situation for a while. Going to create a little bit of variance. Then you sprinkle in joining a new conference, massive increase in difficulty of competition. Without even looking at the schedule, I can tell you right now, I like BYU and Houston probably more than Cincinnati going into this year. And so
Well,
again,
and UCF, they all have coaching stability. This is the one school that does not.
And that's what's interesting, because when you're changing conferences, you would think that that's like an extra thing you now have to deal with as a new head coach.
Only in adding on to new head coach, new conference, new top 6 receivers, only one returning offensive lineman. They do have the Godfather Deontay Corleone. That's a pretty badass.
That is a great name. I mean, some of those guys though he's familiar with, like the wideouts he went and got. They transferred in from Louisville. Same with the starting linebacker, Brian Brown. The DC followed him from Louisville.
Yeah, it's just a shit ton of to transition.
But like, I agree. But like, they're a hard team to me to get a read on because I do think the defense will be all right.
Yeah, their defense will be okay, but
Fickell left them in decent shape. But Emory Jones has been in college like 30 years.
That's
so like
good.
I think that's actually not a bad scenario coming into this. But I have a really hard time trying to. This is like in the Colorado Arizona State range to me, where you're just like, maybe this works out, and maybe it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like I could see them being terrible. I could also see them being good.
I feel like we have a lot of these where it's like, hey, listen, they could be bad or they could be good.
Well, that's what's so interesting about the Big 12.
I don't disagree. I'm gonna say lean bad because of there's
all
too
the
many
turnover.
questions.
Yeah.
Could they get to 7 wins? Sure, but it's like hitting a parlay. Like they have to get the coaching right, the offense right. It's just there's a bunch of shit they have to get right.
I agree, and the
odds are against them.
Offensive line is a little bit of an issue too. I just feel like I already did this preview. I went under. I didn't feel Patty C went over on it, and
only one returning offensive lineman. That's not good.
That's usually one of those things that will bite you in the butt. All right, schedule: Eastern Kentucky.
Fun.
The Colonels coming to town.
You know they're trying to be an FBS. They went to the playoffs last year, so they might be in the FBS.
They keep a good program. Look out.
The Colonels.
Upset.
Oh yeah,
Colonels.
Richmond, Kentucky.
What is that spread, Colby? If you had to guess,
Probably like what Colby would guess, like 2.5.
What a great time to catch Cincy. I would say like 21.
I don't actually think they have
the FCS spreads there.
They might not have this one.
You might want to take the points there though, considering that they're probably.
They do not have this one up yet.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I would think though that this would be an interesting one. You're implementing your.
They have to pretend like they care who's playing on Eastern Kentucky.
At Pitt.
Oh wait, that guy's the quarterback. All right, that changes everything.
My power numbers are all wrong. At Pitt, Miami of Ohio, Oklahoma, and at BYU.
Can we talk about the Oklahoma game for a second? Because we know that Oklahoma and Texas are running to the SEC.
They got to play all these weird new Big 12 road games.
They would never play at Cincinnati. So
Or
now,
BYU.
not only that, it's the first game ever in the Big 12. Like for the Cincinnati fans, that is their first Big 12 game.
Think they'll be excited?
Oh, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. This is gonna be
It seems like you're a little too down on Oklahoma. Maybe
they were 6-7 last year.
I know. New coach.
I mean, no. I mean, I don't know that. I'm not calling for Cincinnati to win that. I'm just saying it's going to be fun.
At BYU, last game before the bye. So before the bye, you got 2 road games. You got 1 joke against Eastern Kentucky.
Whoa.
Maybe 2 jokes. Miami.
Well, it's a long rivalry, Sean.
You think the Red Hawks will take them down? I'll go 2-3.
Probably 2-3, but I could see 4-1. I could see 3-2. You know, like.
Well, you got to shake up your crystal ball. We got to start seeing things.
This is tough.
A little less cloudy. Get a rag.
These new teams.
Ball.
These new teams that have 75 new players. Very hard to do what we've been doing for the past few years here, where we can project everything. You're like, man, I have no idea how the
2-3.
2-3.
I think Cincy most likely to finish in last place in the conference. Coming out of the bye, Iowa State, Baylor, back-to-back home games. Then at Oklahoma State, another tough road game there. UCF, who they lost to last year.
I think they can
play
win
them at least
though.
in Cincinnati.
It's in November. It's gonna be cold.
At Houston, at West Virginia, that's a tough back-to-back spot there. You get Kansas at home. We haven't talked about Kansas yet, but I'm a little higher on. I mean, I'm higher on Kansas than I was last year. So
I sure hope so, buddy.
I do think that's going to be a tough one.
I'm on the under
for Cincinnati. To me, I know you were not so kind to Fickle when we were discussing him on the Big Ten preview, Colby. But I do think to allow the Cincinnati program to get to where it is, he elevated it. And a lot of times when you see these programs that get elevated by a guy, it immediately takes a step back when they replace him with a guy who isn't at that level.
Would argue though that I think the one guy that made the big step was Brian Kelly, because he got them to invest a bunch of money.
Sure, but the main, I mean, he left after what?
An undefeated season.
Yeah. Wait, did
he went?
No.
And then he went undefeated,
and they lost to who?
Well, they lost the bowl game, but he wasn't coaching.
Who'd they lose to?
Florida with Tebow. But then after that came in Butch Jones.
That was the step back, is what you're saying.
That was the step.
But don't you think that Fickle did something? Anyway,
of course he did a great job. You can't knock that. Yeah.
So it's easy to find losses. I think a lot of these road games are losable. I think if I only have 2 wins in the front half, it means I need to find 4 wins in the back half. Where are those 4 wins?
Yeah, I can't. 5 feels like the ceiling. Give me under.
Pass me a whiskey, because I'm telling you that. Look at that. I have no fucking idea on the Houston side of that. Like,
we're fucking assholes for coming up with predictions.
Yeah,
how can you predict
I told
this
you
shit?
The under.
Who knows?
But I could definitely make a case for the over.
You know what? I could see 2-10. I could see 10-2. I'm all over
and
the place.
everywhere in between.
I couldn't say the same with the Hokies.
Oh wow!
Wow!
Whoa!
Stay tuned for the ACC previews.
Whoa! Wait, you wrote down. Oh no!
I'm on the under.
No, Sean confused. He wrote under and over.
Did he put the over for me? No, I'm on the under, buddy.
He's pulling a true Benedict. I
did write under and over for the.
All right, good job, guys. We're really agreeing well today.
You know what else we agree on? Underdog Fantasy is the place to go if you're looking to get involved in, winning money. For one, playing best ball fantasy. Love best ball. All you gotta do, draft your teams, and you're good to go. You don't have to manage the league. You don't have to get in an argument with your cousin about whether or not you Venmo'd him, even though you definitely Venmo'd him. Again, the managed leagues are a huge pain in the ass. The waiver wire. Oh, guy, you get blackout drunk on Saturday. Forget to reset the lineup. Best Ball does all the heavy lifting for you. And if you enter Best Ball Mania 4, they're giving away $15 million in prizes. So many ways to win. And when you use our promo code SGPN, 100% deposit bonus up to $100. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN.
All right. Continuing up the ladder, still in the 5.5. I mean, what is this? 5 teams have a 5.5 win total.
They have no idea. Vegas is just like,
I mean, it is true. If you scratch even Houston out of there, it's like there's 2 wins between basically the top and third place. 5.5 for Iowa State up in Ames. Like we said, another weird spot, conference of weird road trips. -110 each way.
This conference makes no sense.
40-1 to win it never really has.
Here's what's awesome about it. Every fan base is awesome.
40-1 to win the conference, 100-1 to make the playoff, 250-1 to win the national championship. I mean, it's settled into a very, very, very good basketball conference that plays good enough football. the old jokes of me saying the high school offenses of the Big 12. I think those jokes will have to stay a little bit for a tiny bit, but they might be shifting to the Big 10 with all this. It
kind of reminds me of the Sun Belt, like when their recent changes. But whoever, like whether it was Yormark or the previous guy, because Yormark's so new, I dig their style because they're only getting schools that love their sports.
I like you see,
you know
passion,
what I mean? Like
passion index through the roof, lit. Is it the most?
It's not like the Big 10 when they're like, "Hey, we'll get UCLA." No one.
Is it the littest collective stadium atmosphere?
Yeah, I think. I mean, well, no, I mean SEC doesn't,
Yeah,
but that
it
SEC
just
has
means
Vanderbilt. No, I'm going to say the Big 12.
They don't have a Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they don't
here.
have a Vanderbilt.
What fan base is worse than Vanderbilt? Here?
UCF?
Nothing. No, they packed that.
No, they actually have a massive alumni base. They probably, you know what, the Big 12 probably does have the largest collective alumni base. If you looked at the total.
If you look at like what's the craziest place in the SEC? Probably Baton Rouge. What would you rival Baton Rouge to? Morgantown. You know what I mean? Like you have a lot of great environments.
I think if you're
there.
building a crazy hillbilly like battle bracket, the Big 12 is definitely the favorite.
A lot of favorites, a lot of blue bloods here.
And last thing I was going to say was like Matt Campbell getting off the schneid against Iowa last year, first win in his tenure. That was kind of the thing holding him back.
But he's also 4-8.
But dive into that, man. Like, dive into that and look. I'm serious. Like, pull up their schedule from a year ago, and you'll see, with the exception of the TCU game,
a little regression potential.
No, they started last year, so they lost Brock Purdy and Breece Hall, right? So you knew that they were going to go young.
It was a 7th round pick. Not that good.
The point is, though, is that this team last year was a lot better than their record.
Yeah,
they had all of their losses except one was by 1 score. I mean, they should have beat Kansas.
Didn't help me on my win total over.
It's true.
Fuckers.
K-State, who won the fucking Big 12, they lose by 1, 10-9. Great score,
work,
by the way. So I'm all over the fact that these kids are growing up more. I'm on the over with Iowa State, man.
Really?
They started out 3-0 and then just fucking collapsed. No, I do think, to your point,
Started a freshman quarterback, man.
Well, what are they doing at quarterback this year? Are you bringing Hunter Deckers back?
Yeah.
14 interceptions last year.
Oh, he looked good though for a freshman quarterback. I was like, this guy's going to be a very good quarterback in some time.
What about their offensive line? Only 3.3 yards per carry last year, last in the conference. Are they going to be better there, Colby?
I think they're going to be better everywhere. I think Matt Campbell's a great coach. And I just think they're going to be a much more complete team. I wouldn't even be surprised if they played for the Big 12 championship.
Lost 4 games last year. If you include the bowl game, lost 4 games by a field goal.
No, that's Oklahoma, buddy.
Oh, what am I looking at? Oh, Jesus Christ. This is horrible.
Right there.
I'm pulling a Sean.
No, they lost all their games except the TCU one by look at that. Look at that, man.
Well, it's a similar stat, so it almost gets me off the hook. But what I have to shift it to 1-score games. But they lost 6 games, 1-score games.
Yeah,
So I mean, Sean, if we were talking NFL previews right now, you'd have red ink circled all over that.
Iowa State's not in the NFL.
Arrow
especially
up.
when you know they were starting a freshman quarterback, a very young running back. So
Great coach.
Yeah,
good looking, bright future.
This is lock potential here.
Could he be the coach to carry the Big 12 into the future? I don't know. Let's go through the schedule. It's not
tough
hard.
schedule. The schedule after the bye, these fuckers might not win a game.
Northern Iowa, that's a cakewalk.
Tread lightly.
Oh, what?
So the best part is youtube.com/sportsgambling podcast. That subscribe button. Colby was trying to hold back by not touting their week 1 opponent as a, but he couldn't help.
Well, I mean, Iowa State played for the Big 12 championship in 2021.
And it's a look-ahead spot because they got Iowa next up.
I'm sorry, no, they played for the Big 12 championship. What was it? 2019 was it? Either way, the last 2 times they played Northern Iowa, they won 16-10 in 21, and in 19 it went to triple overtime and they won 29-26. Northern Iowa's Kurt Warner, David Johnson, Dedrick Ward, all those guys from Northern Iowa. They keep a good program. This is little brother here.
I love.
Yeah.
Colby's a fan of the little brother. Maybe it's metaphorical. Iowa next up at home again. It's a revenge spot, but they do have to come to Ames this year.
And then what are they doing on this other one?
At Ohio,
10-win team a year ago.
I don't. This classic.
If you're supposed to be scheduling cupcakes early, they're doing a bad job at it.
Well, it's the classic. Like, why is the Power 5 school going on the road to play the Group of 5 school, especially when that Group of 5 school keeps a good program?
Here's what I think. If I had to guess,
all good programs they have.
Matt Campbell is an Ohio guy. He likes to recruit Ohio, so he played at Mount Union. And I think he's like, hey, let's get some games. Let's get some games in Ohio where I can go in there and recruit and say, hey, come here to Iowa State.
Another purple school too, I believe. Oklahoma State, then at Oklahoma. TCU comes to town, and then at Cincinnati. Some winnable games.
2 Ohio games there.
A lot of I mean, to your point on the recruiting trail, maybe that does make a lot of sense. Yeah, I guess maybe they regret it. Had they known they were going to be playing Cincinnati, maybe maybe they don't do the double trip.
3 and 4.
Really?
What do you think they win?
I think they beat Oklahoma State. I think they beat Northern Iowa.
I think they have a great history of beating Oklahoma State in Ames.
I think they'll have the edge on Iowa now that they've beaten them and they've gotten off the schneid, and I think they're going to be favored against Ohio.
This Iowa State team.
I'm going to say
what game will they be a dog in, Colby?
Oklahoma game. Maybe Iowa.
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe TCU. No,
I'm taking Iowa State to beat TCU.
All right, so then I'm with you. I'm going to say 5. I'll give them 2 losses.
Yeah, I'm with you. 5 and 2.
5 and 2.
Yeah.
Colby sucked me into Iowa State over last year. Not happening again.
Well, you can tell that the numbers tell you that they were right there, buddy.
You heard him.
They were right there.
At Baylor, Kansas, homecoming. At BYU, Texas. At Kansas State.
You'll admit that's a tough
Farmageddon. Yeah, the end of the schedule.
I just need one.
Brutal. Yeah, and they'll get that.
I need a lot. Under Iowa State.
Over.
Wait, you're telling me Texas, the last time they ever come to Ames on November 18th, to win for Texas? Get the fuck out of here. That won't be
hard. And in fact, let's just validate that because I'm pretty sandwiched right between at TCU and Texas Tech. Come on, it's a back-to-back road spot for Texas. Come on,
over.
Do better.
Iowa State, no.
Kansas 5.5.
What are the odds for them for the conference?
40 to 1. Oh,
I don't see much of a difference.
Save that for later.
Yeah.
Probably. Kansas, they're 5.5, -140 to the over, +120 to the under.
Now we're talking.
48 to 1 to win the conference. So I mean, Colby,
I like this one too.
I think
I've been on Kansas back-to-back overs, back-to-back years, cashed them both times.
I think
I have. I also have.
I talked you into those things.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely the one where it was only 1.5. That was great.
Colby,
that sweat was
and the 2.5 was easy too.
Your life's going to be a lot simpler if you stop waiting for Sean to give you credit. That's not going to work. He's going to take your advice. It's going to simply seep into his head. He's going to win and tout. You just have to enjoy the tout.
Can we talk about
teamwork tout?
Can we talk about this though? They might
hold on. 48 to 1 to win the conference. So maybe the Sharps are on to what you're saying about Iowa State, as their odds are much
Sharps or losers.
So listen to the 5.5. Listen to the teams who have a 5.5 win total. Their odds to win the conference. Cincinnati, West Virginia are at 70 to 1. BYU's at 100 to 1. Kansas at 48 to 1, and then Iowa State 40 to 1. So
BYU
big
at 100 to 1 is crazy.
Big gap there. So Kansas is
going to be
also
so much fun.
160 to 1 to make the playoff, and 300 to 1 to win the national championship. Who is betting? It's not a basketball bet. Who's betting that? Bill Self told me it's a
football school now.
Well, I can tell you this:
they got a really good offensive line, 4 starters back. They brought in a 5-star left tackle from Wisconsin,
and second most production in the nation out of 133 teams coming back. And Jalen Daniels, when he was a starter in the regular season, was 6-0 last year.
He was good.
Now he lost the bowl game, but he wasn't even 100%. So you get 6-1 as a starter.
You think that lineman from Wisconsin had lactose intolerant? Maybe. Good. Running away from the dairy raid. No.
Now, Daniels, you got to be like, what's his Heisman talk? Because he's a fucking he is a great player, man.
Chip on his shoulder, coming back from the injury. What was the exact injury?
I think separated shoulder.
Okay, so nothing that'll hang around.
It was either that or collarbone, one of the other. But either way, man. I love what I'm seeing here, man. I think
10 to 1. Oh no, sorry, that's
this win total.
Wrong Daniels.
This win total.
Jalen Daniels is 100 to 1. Now we're talking.
Yeah, and I think I honestly don't think we saw Lance Leipold do this before. I don't think it's that crazy that they're playing for the Big 12 championship.
No. This feels like that third year where they really make the jump. They were a good team last year.
They got the best quarterback in the conference.
They won us a ton of money.
You want to hear the schedule?
Let's go.
Missouri State.
No more road rash.
I was going to say
there.
road rash face. He moved
He
up.
left.
So that's the Bears.
No. He moved twice. He went to UNLV to be an offensive coordinator for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Then went to Texas A&M.
I forgot about that.
Well, he took the bag. Not surprising from road rash face. I wonder if the bag fits in his sidecar like his lady. Illinois, the Fighting Illini. That's gonna be a tough early season match.
Get him at home though.
I got him winning that.
At Nevada very down. The BYU coming to town. That's probably a good.
They're gonna be 4-0.
Not having to go to BYU is probably a good thing.
And then comes the game.
And that at Texas, which it was the Texas game last year that was fucking bonkers. Right?
No, 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
2 years ago. Last year they got kind of worked by Texas. They didn't have Daniels.
No, but they started out okay in that game. But you're right, it got away from them.
No, you're right though. I was thinking about the year before.
But yeah,
the year
that year
before was crazy.
They beat Texas, right?
Yeah,
and
they
that
beat
was their
Texas.
second win.
Leipold's 1-0 in Austin, and he's coming back, baby, on September 30th.
I mean, let's go.
All right, so that's
UCF,
probably their first
the
loss.
week after might be the issue, honestly.
No, I think
Because you beat Texas and you're celebrating in Texas. You're celebrating.
I'll
the
say
entire
they go 1-1 in that stretch.
Yeah. Okay, that's a nice hedge. And then at Oklahoma State, which
I think they lose that one.
that's always a tough
Yeah.
spot. Heading into the bye.
5-2.
Oklahoma at Ames, that's a tough road trip.
Dude,
then you
I
got
like their
Texas
chances.
Tech, Kansas State, both coming to town, which is a positive.
That's a good schedule.
Not having to go to
man.
Lubbock or Manhattan is nice. Then at Cincinnati.
Can we talk about the road schedule for a second? At Nevada should be a win.
Yeah.
At Texas, last time they went there, they won.
That's a
but
tough
it's
one.
tough. At Stillwater, tough. But not great.
Ames.
Like they could still win those. They're gonna be like, and then Cincinnati. I expect them to beat Cincinnati at
I
Cincinnati.
think you're right though.
There's like a 10-2, 9-3 ceiling on this team.
Let's
No
load
joke.
Up. Let's load up.
I'm on the over. I'm with you, Colby. Great call.
Let's go.
See what I did, Kramer?
You gonna fade them again? You gonna fade them again?
No.
too?
One more time.
Yeah.
Colby, let's bully him into. It's like the.
They could have
Lance Leipold said Eli Manning was a shitty quarterback.
Whoa, they should have. If they have 5 wins by the bye, it feels like this is locked up. I'll go over to. I'm a little higher on the overs in this episode than normal. Typically, I'm a little sharper than that, taking all unders. Oklahoma State 6.5. 120.
Realize these teams play each other.
120 to the over. Yeah, Colby just takes all over. -140 on the under. Gundy and the boys are 50-1. So 6.5 win total, but the odds to win the conference are worse than Kansas and Iowa State at 50-1. 180-1 to make the playoff. 250-1 to win the national championship.
You got to take the overs on the down teams in the Big 12.
I agree because it's a shit show.
Yeah,
And and again, we're like there's only a couple wins separating the top and the bottom. So with Oklahoma State, it does seem like this might not be their best year, and maybe you just load up.
That's normally when Gundy's great though.
He's a
Every time you think they're going to be really
he
good,
is one of those one of those guys where there's no pressure. That's when you succeed.
And we did just rewatch the "I'm a man" rant.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
The eye
He's
contact,
doing the right things.
makes me want to puke.
the eye contact he
You
locks
don't have a
in
kid, do you?
on that reporter is unfucking believable. He's in that room and Gundy is just creeping closer and closer to him. That guy possibly shit himself.
That report, yeah, he went home
Possibly
and said, "I don't think
himself.
this line of works for me."
He's probably the guy that tried to get him canceled when he found that picture of him wearing like the whatever news network.
Yeah.
That was probably that same
Oh
reporter.
yeah, own.
Fucking pussy.
Alan Bowman, quarterback. A lot of Big 12 experience with Texas Tech. What do we make of him?
A lot
Colby?
of life experience. He's like 30. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in a way, you look at Oklahoma State and you say, "Man, they got a really experienced quarterback."
Yeah.
You know,
That's good with the Gundy system.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of why they ended up losing. They started out hot last year, and then when Spencer Sanders got injured, is when the wheels fell off. Yeah, I mean, I feel they bring in Deshaun Stribling, the wideout from Wazoo. they bring in some decent guys. I know they got hit in the portal pretty bad, but he kind of had this philosophy. He was like, "You don't want to be here, get the fuck out."
Yeah, I like that.
Bauman is entering his 3rd senior year.
Yeah, no, and he can come back next year. I just read an article. I just read an article that because of a medical clearance, that they think he can come back next year too. Unbelievable. But I mean, I'm kind of bullish on Oklahoma State too.
They brought in the defensive back Kendall Davis, he was a freshman All-American last year. That's interesting. They're also switching to a 3-3-5, kind of balancing out the passing defense there. They're also making a more physical run game with Ollie Gordon II, veteran offensive line.
That's what I'm saying. Like these are the type of teams. Like last year, everyone thought Oklahoma State, this is their year to win the I feel like these are the perfect seasons for Gundy, where he has 10, 11, 9 wins when he's competing for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, I mean, again, we keep bringing them up as tough out at home. They only lost the one game at the end of the season to West Virginia at home last year.
And can we talk about, I know we got to dive into the schedule, but they don't play Texas. They don't play they don't get TCU, Texas, and Texas Tech, which are the odds-on favorites. I think 3 of the top 4 odds-on. Yeah,
they get Kansas State. They don't get the other. I mean, and
Kansas State's got to come to Stillwater.
And it's kind of like the Big Ten, where if you can avoid those 3 of the Big 4, you're same with the Pac-12 too. You're in a decided advantage against your opponents.
Before you go game by game, this is the road schedule at Arizona State week 2 with their coach. It's
new roster, new coach.
Yeah. At Ames, okay, they normally lose that.
That's a tough spot.
At Morgantown, but they might not even have their coach. At UCF and at Houston, that's not a brutal road schedule.
No, I think my note would be for their road schedule is which sometimes you can use as a negative. They have a lot of their winnable games on the road, which that's the counter argument is, well, you'd like to have those at home maybe because they become even more winnable.
Potentially, but how about Gundy and the athletic director have said they're never going to play Oklahoma anymore?
7 feels like the floor for this Oklahoma State team because it is, right? The last time, Colby, quiz for you.
Ooh,
Gundy. When was the last time he won less than 7 games?
I think a long time ago. How many did they play in COVID? But
excluding COVID.
Yeah.
Well, they played 11 games in COVID.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. The Big 12 played 10. Yeah.
I'll give you a hint. They hit the over 7 still.
I would say 2007 or 8, right?
You got to go back to 2005, his first year as the coach, 4-7. Other than that, 7 and above.
Take the over and
7 and above. Even last year, 7-6. And to your point, Colby, that was tons of hype, tons of pressure, tough schedule, quarterback injury. They still got you to 7.
And Bedlam is on the second end of a back-to-back away for Oklahoma.
Yeah,
it's the final
Kansas.
Time ever in
You're getting plus odds on over 6.5.
See, that's the thing is Texas and Oklahoma are the favorites, but they have this gigantic target on their back because they're fucking up all these schools, money.
Yeah.
So
you fuck with someone's money.
Yeah.
I
fuck
like
with Gundy's money.
Central Arkansas, the Bears, they come to town to start the season week 1.
That's a win.
At Arizona State.
Spread. 35,
maybe even higher.
So Colby's not defending Central Arkansas. They must really suck.
Yeah, that's how I handicap it.
At Arizona State, which we said this team might get good, but probably not going to be at their best early in the season.
This next one is tricky though.
South Alabama.
They won 11.
Jags.
I think 11 games a season ago. They should have beat UCLA if their coach did not try a fake field goal.
These SEC runoff talent schools that don't have any sort of imagine being the school that you go to.
They were better than UCLA last year.
If you're not academically eligible for Alabama. You go to South Alabama.
Yeah, is that even a thing? How do you become ineligible at Alabama?
Well, that's how these schools do business. It's the gray shirt process.
They're in a film class and they didn't watch the movies.
Go down to South Alabama, get your grades up, come back. All right, then you got
get your grades up at South Alabama
at Iowa State.
Loss.
That's a tough.
That's the loss.
I got 4-0.
3-1.
3-1.
No, Ames is a tough.
Iowa State sucks.
Okay. Kansas State. And so last year they lost 2 of their losses were in the state of Kansas. This year, both those teams come to Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's a beautiful scheduling quirk.
So you have Kansas State, Kansas.
You're going to Morgantown, but admittedly, probably a bad year for.
Well, that's what Colby was saying.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm going to say 1-1 there.
Per our workout of their schedule, the Brown has been fired already, and maybe that helps. Maybe that doesn't help. And then you have Cincinnati for homecoming, Oklahoma coming to town, which, like Colby said, that's the game that's circled already. If the
Red River handshake.
If this team, if Oklahoma State doesn't show up this year, they're still going to show up for that one.
What do you think the spread is? Because I'm on DK here. When a look ahead line, the line is out. Oklahoma State at home against Oklahoma. What is the spread?
I want to make a prediction.
OU minus.
We're gonna like
8.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
8 sounds. It's more than 7. So 7.5, 8.
What'd you say, Colby?
8.
Nailed it. 8.
Boom.
That makes
Bang.
sense.
Give me the points.
No, I mean,
And then you have a back-to-back road spot at UCF, at Houston.
That's tough.
And then BYU.
BYU at home, not quite the same. Again, 7 is the floor for a Gundy team. Lock it up.
Where did we find those 7? I mean, I know we want to just say it out loud. So
I got them 4-0 starting out.
Okay.
And then I think they can split between Kansas. I think at West Virginia is winnable. I think, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, they win
my
one there.
losses are at Iowa State, one of the Kansas schools, and UCF.
So those are 3 definite losses. You can still lose 2 more.
I don't even know if they're definite either. Like UCF, I don't know. I mean, Gundy's capable of winning. They're capable of winning all their games.
I think they will be dogs. I think they will be dogs.
Honestly, look at that schedule and tell me which one would you take.
I'm on the over. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think they're dogs at Iowa State, against Oklahoma, at UCF, and Oklahoma. No, and Kansas State. Kansas State favored in Stillwater, probably.
I don't know, man.
Barely?
It's a nationally
Maybe.
televised Friday night.
All right. I guess
Isn't this conference
we're all on
amazing?
the over.
This conference is great.
Guess we're all on the over. Sean,
Yeah.
is it time to lock it up?
Yep. Time for the locks and a future play. Of course, make sure you lock up subscribing to the Sports Gambling Podcast, College Football Experience. Toss us a nice rating review. Turn the auto downloads on. Join the auto download army. Kramer, what do you got?
Well, you got to lock up the over, I think, for Iowa State, and I think you got to lock up the under for West Virginia. The fact that they have the same win total is relatively shocking to me. Future would be, I absolutely would sprinkle that Iowa State conference.
Iowa State to win the conference at 40-1.
This is their year.
Want no part of that. Gundy wins 7 games. Give me Oklahoma State over 6.5. And Kansas is a live dog as well. Give me the over 5.5 for Kansas. For my future, give me Jalen Daniels to win the Heisman 100-1. That's just fun.
I'm gonna bet on that right now.
One slightly more realistic one would be.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
More
what's going on
realistic.
here? This guy was putting up like 350 yards in the air
Dude,
and
it's
120
crazy.
on the ground every game.
And I think you also sprinkle Oklahoma State and Kansas to win the conference at 48-1 and 50-1.
Do they not have him? Oh, wow. Okay.
The place I'm looking is unwilling to offer me Jalen.
Well, that's why. Well, we got to.
Yeah.
We'll head over to Circus Sports when we sign up for the contest and
Yes.
show Derek our 2K ticket. To I want to create a 6-figure liability.
Yeah, Derek. Sorry about the email you're about to get.
Colby, what do you got?
Lock up Kansas over 5.5 wins. Lock up Iowa State over 5.5 wins. And I do like the future on Kansas in the to win the Big 12.
48-1.
Let's go.
What do you like? Well, I guess so you would like obviously Kansas to win the conference at 48-1 better than Daniel's Heisman, right? Because I guess obviously,
Yeah, just because
if he wins the Heisman, they also win the conference. I would assume.
probably get there.
But
They certainly could win the conference without him winning the Heisman.
If they have a good year and he puts up silly numbers, I mean, look, there's always a handful of quarterbacks that put up the silly numbers. I mean, remember the RG3 season? He could absolutely do that. You know.
I mean, this conference is ridiculous. Tell me
how did Baylor
you
do
don't
that
get excited
year?
with those matchups.
Remind me, how did Baylor do the year that RG3?
I think they actually.
Well, they win like 9 games.
I was about to say. I think so. Something like that.
So, I mean, Kansas could win 9 games, and not win the conference championship, and Jalen Daniels could have a monster year.
I mean, how great is this conference, though, man? How about this is
super fun. I wasn't really doing the math when you walk through the schedule. As bizarre as it is to like wrap your head around it as a fan, as a guy with the more or less a college football mercenary, it's just great game after great game.
Yeah.
Why do you think we chose to launch the college experience the Big 12 college experience first?
Yes, which everyone should get over there and be subscribed. Yeah, Moneyline Mac and friends.
And hopefully his friends are cool.
Mac and friends.
I mean, we hung out with Mac.
Yeah, they're cool. I did a little.
Oh, you vetted them?
Yeah, they've been on the show.
You are the czar of community. So if they pass your test,
Isn't that the XFL's new line? The czar of community. Next year, where opportunity meets community.
Completely unrelated, but I was just earlier. I was watching an old highlight of the Undertaker throwing Mankind off of a wrestling cage.
by God,
Times really have changed.
times have changed. Hey,
The wrestlers are a lot prettier today.
we got more college football previews coming up. Of course, subscribe to the College Football Experience. Every single team, every single preview. Do not want to miss that. And toss us a nice rating and review. Always giving away gift cards for people who go above and beyond serving the SGPN Army.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green, and he is Ryan.
Sean, these futures for the Big 12 are excellent.
Kramer. Let it ride.